Never say never, but never. Anybody else got any questions about any college jobs? There's not a booster with a big enough blank check.
Good morning. Welcome into the Out of Bounds Show, ESPN 105.9 The Zone. SEC Insider Hit brought to you by Farm Bureau Insurance. Bundle your auto and home and save with your local Farm Bureau Insurance agent in any of the 82 counties in the state of Mississippi. Competitive rates powered by Farm Bureau Insurance. We welcome in our friend Tom Luganbill, national college football analyst with ESPN. You're in Miami, aren't you, my man?
I am in Miami. The sun is shining through my hotel room right now.
Man, how does it feel down there? What's the temps?
It's cold. I just went out for about a 30-minute walk, and it was like in the 40s.
Wow.
I know.
Okay.
But that's good when you got to wear a suit later today for 7 hours.
So, how close are you? So I've only been to Hard Rock Stadium once, but we stayed on South Beach, and it took us forever to get there. How close are you staying to the stadium, Luke's?
We're in Aventura, so we're probably, without traffic, we're 20 minutes to the stadium.
Yeah, it's still a haul. Okay.
Yeah.
It took us 45 to 50 minutes there and back in an Uber.
Yep. Why do you think Miami has such a bad home crowd?
Yeah, golly, man, you got to grind to get there. Good grief.
I know.
All right, well, thank you. You just teed me up. Do you think – I understand there's corporate tickets bought for these events. I haven't been to a national championship game since Clemson LSU in the Superdome. You go to all these things all the time. But do you even with some of them getting eaten up by the corporate community, do you expect Miami to have a monster crowd tonight, Luke?
Yeah, they'll have a monster crowd. They will. It'll be really good. I think honestly, this will be about as even of a crowd. I know last time in Indiana just poured into that stadium. I think you'll have a really strong Miami contingent.
Okay. And then Indiana has the largest, I think, alumni base in the country at 700,000 plus. So they'll show up, maybe not as many as Miami, but they'll have you expect them to have a pretty good group there too, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. In fact, if you watch it on TV, it'll probably look like they dominate the crowd.
Okay. Because of that, whatever it is, crimson, red, maroon.
That crimson, man, and they wear it proudly.
Yeah, they do. God, they had only won 3 bowl games in the history. How incredible is this? You grew up in the world of college football long before you played at Georgia Tech because of your dad, and then you got into NFL Europe and doing all this stuff with ESPN. But for you and I, we're the same age. I mean, I never thought 2 seconds about Indiana football. In '87, Lugs, I went to the Final Four. Indiana was in it in basketball. I grew up as Bob Knight winning it in 76, 81, and 87 in hoops, right? And that's all you knew about Indiana. And how crazy is it that they're here and it's like the day of the game and we're saying the Indiana Hoosiers are in the title game, Luke?
It's unlike anything I've ever seen before in this profession. I have never seen a team that was put together so quickly, that plays so flawlessly, that doesn't beat themselves, that is littered with experience, full of redshirt juniors and redshirt seniors, which is hard to do. As we've talked about before, it's hard to be old in college football.
Yeah.
I have never seen a team do what they have done. I've never seen a team only lose 1 fumble the entire year. And by the way, the reason why I've never seen it is because it's never happened before.
Wow.
They lost 1 fumble. It was in the first week of the season. And nobody in the history of FBS football has ever gone 15 weeks without losing a fumble. They only have 11 defensive penalties. They've only turned the ball over 8 times the entire year. It's unbelievable. Somebody needs to do like a Harvard study on it.
It's like he put chips in all of their shoulders and they're robots, Luke. It's like you can't. It just doesn't make any sense for even though they're old, like you talked about. It doesn't make sense for 18 to 23-year-olds to execute at this level. I mean, look, over the weekend, Josh Allen and C.J. Stroud, who are very talented, turned it over like crazy. And you just walked us through Indiana not turning the ball over, and they're younger and they don't get to practice as often as NFL teams. How wild is that?
Yeah. It's unbelievable. I mean, just think about how often do you see in every game that you watch, like a batted ball at the line of scrimmage that gets intercepted, batted ball in the defensive secondary, and another defender runs over and leaps and catches the ball. Like, none of this stuff has happened to them. It's unbelievable. Like, I'm trying, and that's why they're so hard to beat, because unfortunately their flawless execution has overshadowed their talent, and they are talented. They're very talented. But in order to beat them, like, you have to play almost perfect, because they're not going to screw it up. It's the damnedest thing I've ever seen.
Tom Luganbill with ESPN. He's in Miami. He'll be on TV all day. We've got the national championship. It's weird saying this. Indiana, Miami, and Indiana's laying 8.5. Is that too many, Luke?
Yeah. Probably, but if you look at the results of their games, you're sitting there saying, well, maybe it's not. But the thing about Miami is Miami wants to shorten the game, and they want to get you into the fourth quarter. And if you look at their 3 playoff games, they have absolutely owned the fourth quarter. They have beaten you into submission. They wear you down. They're unbelievable on third down. And they start to basically just pound you, and they play keep away. Like, their whole thing is, we're going to limit your possessions by maintaining possession of the ball. And if Miami can do that tonight, then we're going to have a hell of a fourth quarter game.
Okay. The one thing that, if Shannon Dawson goes away from the run, for our listeners, offensive coordinator for Miami, they were gashing Ole Miss, and then he all of a sudden wanted. I mean, I thought Carson Beck had no business throwing it 37 times against Ole Miss.
Yeah, he almost blew it.
Yeah, and I thought they would have pulled away by two possessions had they not. So I think that if Shannon Dawson and Miami start to throw it around the field like crazy, that will play right into Kurt Signetti and Bryant Haynes' mind and hands and what they want to do. Is that right?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, obviously, there's going to come times in every portion of a game where you're going to have to throw it. Maybe you're third and long, maybe you're second and long, and you're going to. But when it comes down to it, if you win first and second down, and you're in second and third and short scenarios, and you start to throw it, I think you're making a mistake if you're Miami.
I agree. I'm gonna kind of rapid fire you on some things, and you tell me what you agree or disagree with. Indiana has the better QB. And by the way, when I go through this, it doesn't mean the other side doesn't have good coaches or people. Indiana has the better QB. Miami has the better overall talent, and Indiana has the better staff.
Yeah, I think that's probably correct. The Indiana team, if you're just going to base it off of performance, they have the best coached and best prepared team going into every matchup that they have played. Obviously, talent. Nick Saban used to always say, if my cats are better than your cats, I can do a lot more. And Miami has that, but it doesn't mean they have to do a lot more. But I think your assessment there is correct.
How did you mention Signetti putting this roster together so fast the last 2 years? College football playoff appearance last year and title game this year. How were those James Madison guys? How did he get them to James Madison so that when they transferred to Indiana, they could play Power 4 ball? That doesn't usually happen. I mean, what were they doing? Why did other schools miss on those guys? And how was a James Madison allowed to sign these kids? And then I know they're 3 years older now, but it's not just that. They've got skills. How did this happen, Luke?
Because everybody develops at a different rate. I mean, when you look at the high school player pool every year, you're going to have roughly 25 to maybe 2,700 kids in every class that will sign at the FBS level. But not all of those kids are ready yet. Some of those kids are group of 5 talents coming out, maybe high-end FCS talents coming out, and then they redshirt and they grow and they develop and they get bigger and stronger, and you get them into the rotation, and all of a sudden they're playing maybe as a redshirt sophomore, and now they're a different player 3 years later than they were when they came out. And it's impossible. And this isn't just about JMU or Indiana. This applies to every coaching staff in America. It's impossible to be on top of everybody. Like, it's impossible to know every kid. And the thing is, you're conditioned as a coach or as a scout or as a player evaluator to take the more higher end, ready right now, skilled prospect. It doesn't do you, like, if you're a Power 4 school, you're not going to go recruit Trinidad Chambliss out of high school. You're not going to go recruit Elijah Surratt, who's a receiver at Indiana right now, that was at St. Francis University, then JMU. Well, when he came out of high school, nobody would have recruited him because there were other people that were faster, that were more athletic, that were more skilled, because they had advanced and matured earlier. And that's why the developmental rate of players is such an inexact science. You don't have the luxury of a crystal ball.
Right.
So you have to make assessments, and then as a coaching staff and as a strength and conditioning staff and as an athletic training staff, you have to bring those guys along, and then next thing you know, guys start turning into people that they weren't at 17 years old.
Okay, so Cignetti says that he's the main guy in the building who evaluates all the talent. Like Lane Kiffin does it too, but he's got a guy named Billy Glasscock. I'm sure Indiana has a GM too. Everybody does.
Yeah,
I think it's the new I think it's about to be the new highly paid. I think we're going to have $1 million a year GMs like in about 5 minutes. You agree with that, Luke? As far as salary?
Yeah, if we don't already have it close to some places.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So he's able to coach like no one's prepared like them. No one executes like them. They don't make mistakes. You just walked us through the turnovers and only 11 defensive penalties and all this crazy stuff that they're doing. I mean, can he continue to wear these hats, be the head coach, do all the things you're doing there, and then evaluate God knows how many players in the portal and keep netting out X amount of productive players / starters year in, year out?
Yeah, absolutely. Because I think, it's kind of like Bill Parcells used to say, if you're going to ask me to make the dinner, then you need to allow me to buy the groceries. So the head man, and again, you said it very well, he's going to have a staff. He's going to have people that are going to work together with one unified vision of exactly what they are going to do, what they are not going to do. And then he's going to make the ultimate decision at the end. He's making the final decision. And so I think he has valued performance. He's valued production. He's valued age. He doesn't necessarily care about, where you were ranked coming out of high school. If we're just talking strictly the portal here, don't kid yourself. I guarantee you at the high school level, they're targeting higher profile guys now than they ever had access to before.
Sure.
But with the portal, like that, if you look at how many guys they have that have, like, before they even came to Indiana, that have 25 starts, 33 starts, 20 starts at another school, think about the sample size of production that you have to evaluate to determine whether or not you think this guy can play for you or improve your roster. And that's what they have focused on. And I think it's a recipe, it's a plan, it's a blueprint that everybody should be adopting.
Tom Luganbill's down in Miami for the national title game. And we've got the Hoosiers, Indiana Hoosiers, who I think had 3 bowl wins in the history of their program in the title game against Miami, that when Lugs and I were growing up, they were the deal for a big chunk of that. Much better than Southern Cal and Alabama in the 80s and somewhat 90s. And Snellenberger, Jimmy Johnson, Dennis Erickson go through there. And then Coker steals one in 01, so to speak. And then they kind of just totally left the grid and they're back. What else am I missing here? What's the best unit on the field, in your opinion, Luke's?
Miami's defensive front and Miami's offensive front.
Okay.
That's how they've gotten to where they are right now. They are arguably the best offensive line in college football, and then the two edge guys, Akeem Mesidor and Ruben Maine, are just sensational. They're special.
And a lot of this is they're a balance between high school recruiting, because I saw a hit with Mario about how they've had a bunch of guys there for 3 years now. So this is a combo of good high school evaluation and development and supplementing with the portal. Am I right on that, Luke's?
You're 100% right. They have done the exact opposite of what Florida State and Florida have done. Okay. They have been able to recruit, integrate, develop high school players and combine them with transfer portal additions. So you look at Ruben Bain, you look at Mark Fletcher, OJ Federic, Francis Mauinoa, the right tackle. And I'm just listing a handful of guys here, but the guys that they have recruited that have been high-profile recruits, they haven't left. They've played significant snaps. They've developed and stayed within the program. And then you add that and combine it with the transfer portal additions. If you look at Florida State has almost done virtually zero high school recruiting development. They have gone to the portal and the portal only, and when the portal hasn't worked, they have nothing to fall back on.
Right.
They have no foundation within their own program because they have gone so heavily onto the portal side that they haven't been able to round out their roster with a blend of the two.
Tom Luganbill, national college football analyst with ESPN. He's on the Out of Bounds show, brought to you by Farm Bureau Insurance. Bundle your auto and home and save with your local Farm Bureau Insurance agent. All right, let's go to Lane Kiffin at LSU. You don't have a dog in the hunt, but you watch what's going on, especially with these high-profile coaches and programs. I mean, he hasn't just stopped tweeting and trolling. He's ramped it up. And I know you're not watching it, every hour of every day because you got other things going on. But as someone who is in the world of college football at the national level, what's your takeaway with how he's operating at LSU now?
Everything he does is meant to create buzz. It's meant to generate public interest. It's meant to generate attention. And that attention then becomes national. And guess where it feeds into? High school kids.
Yeah. Transfer
portal kids. He creates a storyline every day. And you can fault him for it. You can gripe about it. But at the end of the day, if you're constantly in the news cycle, you are constantly at the top of mind of who it is you're focusing on. You're wanting to grab the attention of potential candidates to come play for your program. That's what it's always been about. And he knows that, and he's very strategic with it. And it's worked. I mean, the bottom line is it has worked.
He is still playing chess while others are playing checkers, even those that are operating at a high level in the portal or running their program. I mean, have you ever seen anything like this? I mean, he's dominating college football, Luke.
Yeah, and again, he's very public about it. That's the thing. Is
right.
Most folks want to keep things close to the vest. He doesn't care about that.
No. All right. Let me throw that out. As a former starting quarterback at Georgia Tech, he's not sure he gets Sam Leavitt, so he puts himself out there, flies to Knoxville, not sure he's going to get him or if they screwed it up when he was on his visit, and takes a picture and tweets out that he's at the Knoxville airport. So opens himself up to where if he doesn't close the deal, that he's going to catch hell, but yet he doesn't care, and he does that. Your thoughts, Luke?
Hey, dude, that's what, because he knows that if he loses there, that could lead to the next guy.
Yeah.
Right? If God, this guy's willing to get on a plane, he's not gonna take no for an answer. Like, that leads to the next guy. There's don't kid yourself. He's very diabolical.
Yes.
He is very, very cunning and shrewd. He knows what the end game is.
Oh, my God. So funny you use that. A friend of mine on Friday texted me and said, man, Lane is diabolical. I mean, God, I don't know if it's his NFL growing up around his dad or just that's the way he's wired. And yet I think he has so little self-awareness that, and he doesn't really have any friends. I think he's got acquaintances maybe with Sark and Kirby and so on, right? I mean, he's not, you know this, he's not well, he likes to get on the boat and fish and he does all those. He's not a chew the fat at the grill with a beer, whether he's drinking or not, whatever.
Nope.
He's not that guy, right? You've been around him a million times.
No, and he never will be. And he doesn't care to be.
Right.
That's not his. He's so singularly focused that's just not in his list of priorities.
I had a friend who swims in your world and Lane's world, and he said, dude, it drives him crazy that Kirby is at a blue blood and Sark is at a blue blood because he thinks he's better than both of them, which is okay, whether he is or not.
Yeah.
And that he had to get somewhere, and then he lands at LSU. Like, I mean, he so bad wants to be a part of the national title coaches discussion, and it sure as hell looks like if, let's say, he stays 5 years before going to the NFL, he's going to have a great shot to land one, right?
Well, he is, but understand the place that he left is okay with going 9-3.
That's right.
The place that he left is okay with having a down year and going 8-4. And then if you blend it with a 10-2 or an 11-1 or whatever it may be, then they're going to build a statue of you.
Right.
At LSU, that isn't going to be acceptable. So what he's walked into is a higher expectation level and not the same timeline. The timeline is now. Like, you need to do this right now. And if it doesn't happen, it's going to be very interesting to see how people respond to that.
That's true. Have a great day in Miami. I know you got a lot of work, but still, you're at the national title game, which is cool. You've got an ACC team in it that's been a ton of fun to watch in Miami. And look, credit to Cristobal. A lot of people didn't ever think that he was a good enough coach, even with being a top 3 recruiter in the country and all the money they're pouring into NIL. People were not sure that they could get it done on the coaching side, and they did, Luke. So congratulations.
Yes, they have.
Yeah. Have a great day, man. We'll talk soon.
All right, buddy. See ya.
Tom Luganbill, national college football analyst with ESPN. He joined us on the Farm Bureau Insurance guest line. Bundle your auto and home and save with your local Farm Bureau Insurance agent. We're live in the Bank Plus studio, Out of Bounds, streaming live on the zone1059.com and the Out of Bounds radio app.
Anybody else got any questions about any college jobs? There's not a booster with a big enough blank check.
That's what Seaton's saying, the offensive tackle from Colorado. We're driven by your next GMC Yukon or Sierra truck. Fowler, GMC, Pearl Brandon.
Stand by for audio. Got it.
It's 8 a.m., and you're tuned to Mississippi's #1 choice for non-stop sports. The Out of Bounds Show with Bo Bounds.
Where am I?
On the Zone 105.9 and online at thezone1059.com.
Guys, I don't have time for that speculation.
Good morning. Welcome into the Out of Bounds Show, ESPN 105.9 The Zone. Show is brought to you by Kessler Prime and the Renaissance. Amazing steaks and seafood. 6 private dining rooms. KesslerPrime.com to make a reservation. Show is also brought to you by Elijah Craig Bourbon. Award-winning Elijah Craig Bourbon made by Heaven Hill. Still locally owned up there in Kentucky. And delicious juice. Enjoy an Elijah Craig Old Fashioned. Or on the rocks this week. Please drink responsibly. Award-winning Elijah Craig Bourbon. You can find it at Briarwood Wine and Spirits. And don't forget that Jamie Ferris in Hattiesburg, Lincoln Road Wine and Spirits. He's got all kinds of fun. Super premium Elijah Craig bourbon, along with barrel picks for days. He's the barrel pick king, Jamie Ferris, Lincoln Road in Hattiesburg. Let's see. We've got a couple of different ways that you can get in touch with us, and then I want to get into a couple of texts here. The Golden Moon Casino text line, 601-885-3776. You can find us on X, at Bo Bounds. Tweet to us at Bo Bounds. Follow us on X, at Bo Bounds. And then the Stella Artois caller line, great beer, 601-707-3750. Tough weekend for Mississippi State. Ole Miss goes over and to Starkville in the hump and wins 68-67. Ole Miss was 29 of 71 from the field for 41%, and Mississippi State was 24-65 for 37%. Ole Miss only shot 10 free throws, made 8, and Mississippi State was 14 of 23 from the free throw line. And their 2 shooters, Hubbard and Epps, did not have a good night shooting, and they couldn't overcome that because, I guess a little bit of volume shooting, and then they just don't have the guys. Jans has got to find some shot makers to put around Hubbard if they get another year with Hub. Looks like kind of a, not a total swing and miss with the portal class, but not real good. Ole Miss was 2 of 20 from three-point land and still won on the road.
Yeah.
They shot 2 of 20 for 10% and won. How about that?
It's just bad. It's just bad, but they shot 80% from the free throw line.
They did, 8 of 10, and they did what they needed to do to win the game. And it was, If
Mississippi State shoots 80% from the free throw line, they win the ball game.
Yes. But, and they had some opportunities late. Give Ole Miss credit. They hit a couple of buckets late and then did what they needed to do to win the game. They've won 3 in a row. So, they've won at home against Missouri.
Yeah.
They won at Georgia. They won at Mississippi State. Now they host Auburn. And they're 11-7 overall. Don't they host Auburn? I think I got that right. Yeah. All right. So they host Auburn tomorrow night. They'll get a crowd now that they've won 3 in a row.
Heck yeah, they will.
When I was watching that Missouri game, nobody was there, but I think that should turn around tomorrow night.
Yeah, they were still in football mode.
Yeah. And then they go to Kentucky. And then Vanderbilt's at home. Vandy's playing well. Right. They are, man. Both men's and women's hoops. Remember about 2 years ago, I asked a question if with the NIL and it being legal and them being a private school and their booster wealth, donor wealth, what could they be? And in one of the 2 or 3 fastest growing cities in the country, of course, as y'all know, in Nashville, what could that look like? That looks like it's going to work out. Yeah. Looks like their boosters who didn't want to pay players for years have looked at it. So it's legal. All right, we'll write a check. And if we need to spend X in football, great. If we need to spend, so-and-so in basketball, we'll do that. And we'll see what other private schools emerge.
Oh, yeah.
Looks like Duke's. We already know. Y'all remember the Wall Street Journal article last year about Duke's, 3 alums that Shire and the group had tapped into. I think it was Wall Street Journal. But it was. Does Stanford get on board? It sure looks like Andrew Luck is trying to get them roll. I mean, they can raise $50 million in 4 seconds, right? That is chump change for Stanford's donor base. It's just a matter if they want to do it. And then you look at Northwestern, they just hired Chip Kelly as offensive coordinator, who got fired from the Las Vegas Raiders. And so, some of the private schools to keep an eye on, but the one that we like to follow is Vanderbilt because it's not but 5 hours away, and Mississippi State and Ole Miss play them in multiple sports. We'll see how that looks. But Ole Miss will play Auburn at home, at Kentucky, Vandy at home, at Tennessee, at Texas.
That might be 5 L's in a row.
And then Bama at home.
That might be 6 L's in a row.
Damn, I didn't know they were about to go through this stretch.
Jeez.
Nice job by Beard to win 3 in a row before going through this thing. And so Jan's won both games last year. Beard could be he is in the catbird seat because the next game will be in Oxford. So Nick says they should have overpaid to keep Murphy. Well, they didn't do a good job of cultivating a relationship with Keyshawn his last year. Give Josh Hubbard all the credit in the world. He recruited him like crazy last March, tried to, keep him. Jan's dropped the ball on that one. A kid like that needs, a lot of love and attention and so on. And I think it could have worked out, but the relationship was not there. And he ends up at Auburn. Hell, Kugel's averaging 18 a game at Central Florida in the Big 12.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand that Riley may be tough to, not maybe, but, tough to work with in the locker room and on the court and so on, but he's got skills. I mean, he did have like 5 or 6 games, maybe not that many, 4 or 5 games. I mean, he had some games in Starkville. Now, I know he disappeared for 3 weeks and things got weird and whatever, but Kugel's pumping. I watched college basketball game day or whatever the hell they call it on Saturday morning because I drove back from Starkville on Friday afternoon after hanging out with Shane Power and some people. Kugel's pumping in 18 a game.
Dang.
In the Big 12. Something to keep an eye on. Jake from Yazoo. Bo, I made it to Key City Brewery yesterday. Great beers as always. Got some roasted beans, too. I missed Jack Bourgeois, but left him some Yazoo honey. Dude, that's awesome.
Nice.
I love hearing that, man. Key City Eatery, Roastery, Brewery in Vicksburg on Washington Street. Key City beer is fantastic. I had a Key City Mi Vida at Saltines yesterday when Wendy and I went to brunch lunch. I got to tell you all this story. Are we going to break? Yep. For those of y'all who have listened to the show for years, we have attorney Chuck Mullins on the show. And I sit down, the bar's kind of packed. Wendy and I find 2 chairs. And we sit down beside him, and it took 10 minutes for us to realize that we were sitting by each other. What the hell?
Man.
He didn't look like, I kept looking over. I was going to ask him to pass the pepper because I ordered some gumbo. And then it finally dawned on me it was Chuck. Chuck Mullins, attorney to the stars, right?
Whose fault is that, his or yours?
It's his.
That's right.
I mean, damn. I don't know, but it was good to see attorney Chuck Mullins yesterday at Saltines. We had a beverage together and enjoyed lunch brunch. Good morning. Welcome in. We love you. National title game tonight. Indiana, Miami.
Never say never, but never.
Good morning. Yes, I will be obnoxious with Mike Tomlin drops because it doesn't get any better than, well, Mike Tomlin drops. I mean, Bartus are funny, Detilliers, Mike Leach, of course, Dan Campbell with Detroit. But I think Tomlin is.
Anybody else got any questions about any college jobs? There's not a booster with a big enough blank check.
Well, that's what Seaton's telling everybody. The offensive lineman from Colorado that went to Mississippi State for a visit. His offensive line coach for a year was Phil Lodeholt. And then he goes to Miami. Of course, they're on fire right now. They're in the national title game. The U, are you ready to say they're back? I mean, they're in the title game.
I mean, technically.
Okay. And then this offensive tackle is at LSU, and then talk that he's going to Oregon.
If I was there, he wouldn't have left Starville. Not a chance.
Well, they offered him $4+ million.
Everybody's offering him $4+ million.
I don't know if everybody is, actually, but I think that people are trying to figure out I think some schools feel like they may not have to offer that much if they're winning. But we'll see. Wrong. Mississippi State, Miami, LSU. There's talk that he's going to have dinner tonight in Baton Rouge at the Supper Club or something.
Oh, that's over with.
But, I mean, he was there yesterday. Lane's tweeting, obviously, pictures of them in Tiger Stadium. Right. Lane's always tweeting. I think Lane tweets in his sleep now. But he's trolling everybody, and again, if he's your coach, it's sweet and cute and fun. When he's not, it grades on you. And
or when he was your coach and now he's not.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ole Miss fans are not loving it. Where is the Ole Miss hat?
They come back around. The Tennessee folks come back around on him.
Hell no. They don't like him. No.
Ridiculous.
This is what makes it fun.
Yeah, it is.
Never say never, but never.
Out of bounds, ESPN 105.9 The Zone. What?
Oh, none of them like him. What about USC? He wasn't even there long enough for that to count.
Well, you may be right there. I think that they would love to have him back.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I know that Lincoln Riley knocked down the number one high school class in the country. He signed like 97 people. But, hey, if you could get that many highly rated guys, more power to, because they beat out Bama for kind of the recruiting title for this year. So Lincoln Riley, and evidently he's got some dudes, and they committed. I think some people may be surprised. Some people may not be. I mean, Southern Cal is still cool, and LA, and if they want to, again, that's a private school. If their boosters want it, we were talking about Vanderbilt earlier, Stanford, Northwestern, and Duke, that can do whatever they want. Miami, private school in the national. You got a public university in Indiana with the largest alumni base in the country, over 750,000 living alums. So they can tap into whatever they want as far as getting 35 to 55 million a year for a football roster. Right. Then you got Miami, that's a private school that really is, y'all know this, a total transient state, but tons of wealth still, maybe not close to the largest alumni base, but they've got some billionaires and 100 millionaires that are in and funding their deal. So you got a private school from South Florida and a basketball school that actually lost their basketball mojo 30 years ago and had won 3 bowl games in the history of their program. And they are in the national championship game. And Miami's laying 8.5. Do you feel like that's too many? I know they've blown out their last 2 opponents. And
Indiana's laying 8.5. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Indiana's laying 8.5. And they've blown out their last 2 opponents. Will we see I hope not. I want a good game and a close game.
Didn't get any this past weekend, so.
Yeah, we did.
You got 1, sorry.
Yeah, no, 2 of them were good games.
I guess the Bears last night.
Broncos Bills 33-30, and the Bears game was definitely good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God.
I mean, Patriots Texans wasn't bad. But
Oh.
yeah, the blowout was Seahawks 49ers 41-6.
Told you we needed an alternate line on that game on Friday. Should have took it.
Did you say that?
Yeah, I had a
I didn't
God.
And you didn't take it? You had won $1,000 last Tuesday or Wednesday playing video poker or some nonsense, right?
Mm-hmm. Should have doubled it up.
Okay.
Should have was easy money.
I mean, all you had to do was double it up. I don't understand what was the problem.
It's on me, and it probably would have been tripled with the alternate line. That's tough. I told you they'd win by at least 10. Easy peasy. They'll probably do it again this week. This weekend.
Do you feel it?
That team's so good. They're so good. And give me my boy, Sammy D.
Who?
Darnold. I love that guy. Dude, they screwed him over in Minnesota.
All right, let's talk NFL for just a second. Well, we talked Ole Miss and Mississippi State. Big win for Ole Miss. What do you got?
Oh, the Bills just fired McDermott.
Did they really?
You they were going to fire him. I knew it.
Damn.
They just fired him as of like 27 seconds ago. How in the
I
world?
don't know about
That's
that.
a bad
man.
call.
I mean,
He's a good
Josh
coach.
Allen had a tough night with 4 turnovers.
I knew it. We talked about this.
He had 2 picks and 3 fumbles, and 2 of them were lost.
Don't matter.
They went 12-5.
I agree. Bad call.
Do you know how you could go backwards fast? You don't know that you're going to get anyone on the Sean McDermott. You may, but you don't.
Dude, that dude's a really good coach. Who in the world? Tomlin.
No, he's going to
He's
sit
gonna
out of
sit
here.
out?
He's not going to go to
Harbaugh's a
Buffalo.
no-go because he's done, right? That's
He's at New York.
Well,
No, that's done.
Is it
They already
done?
announced it.
mm,
You're saying the Giants' Twitter feed announced it and he's not going?
oh yeah. Well, I'm saying they announced it prematurely for sure.
Okay.
Definitely did that.
Okay. I don't think that's accurate. But so Tomlin's going to sit out a year. He's not going to Buffalo.
Why?
I know you're just throwing things
He
out.
would be so good there, though. Why not?
Why would you you just coached for 19 years. You're going to take a year off.
Yeah, true. Yeah. I guess he
Okay,
is.
so for our listeners, Sean McDermott is out at Buffalo. Josh Allen had 4 turnovers. Is that all Sean's fault? I don't think it is.
No.
He had 2 picks and 3 fumbles, and he lost 2 of them.
And he missed. He missed open receivers.
Which is he
Not
missed a
like-
couple of really for the NFL. Holy moly!
Wide open.
Because C.J. Stroud and Josh Allen had and it's a tough game.
Yeah.
And it's cold, and there's a lot going on. But damn, those were tough weekends for those 2. And Bo Nix, who played at Auburn and Oregon, broke his ankle at the end of the game. So Jarrett Stidham, who Stidham hosted Bo Nix as a recruit, because Stidham's older than Bo Nix. There's a picture over the weekend of Stidham hosting Bo Nix as a recruit at Auburn.
That's awesome.
Now Jarrett Stidham will be the quarterback. And if anybody can get someone up and running, in 6 days for the AFC Championship game, it's who? Mr. Sean Payton.
Dude, all
or
day.
maybe I should say Doctor
there
of
we go.
Wins. Dr. Sean Payton to you and I. So, and Vrabel and Payton, those are 2 wizards going against each other in the AFC Championship game.
For Coach of the Year.
And McVay's back. They did just enough, baby. Oh, stop it. We are the Out of Bounds Show. Steve Robertson coming up next. What's the latest out of Starkville? Steve Robertson, genespage.com. good morning. Welcome into the Out of Bounds Show, ESPN 105.9 The Zone. We are live in the Bank Plus studio. I'm your host, Bo Bounds, and the Out of Bounds Show is brought to you by the Mississippi State University, Bagley College of Engineering. They're offering new bachelor's and master's degrees in AI. The bachelor's in AI, which started in the fall of 2024, was the first such degree in the SEC. The BS in cybersecurity degree has seen tremendous enrollment growth over the last 3 years. Students are supported by various national scholarship programs, such as the National Science Foundation Cyber Corps and Scholarship for Service and the Department of Defense Cyber Service Academy. Bam. Bagley.msstate.edu. Bagley.msstate.edu. Schedule your private tour of the Mississippi State University Bagley College of Engineering. World-class education. Unbelievable what the alums have done out of that program the last 60 years, moving all over the country and the world to do cutting-edge cool stuff in business and engineering. We welcome in Steve Robertson, genespage.com, 247 Sports, the Boneyard Podcast. Steve joins us on the Farm Bureau Insurance Guest Line. Steve, Portal Mania is still alive and well. I know you've been working it for weeks now. What is the latest on Jordan Seaton, the offensive lineman out of Colorado?
Before I answer that, I want to tell you, my oldest daughter, Audrey, is a Bagley School of Engineer alum and had a tremendous experience. And one of the things about that whole thing, it's so neat, is there's just such a fraternity among those engineering students. And I don't know that she could have done better. And absolutely killing the game, working for a defense contractor. So I wanted to get my plug in for Bagley. But to Seaton, the situation is pretty much as we left it Friday. And one of the things I wanted to say about that is, you recall, there were a lot of these, Bulldog burner accounts that were, tweeting out things. And now you're seeing some LSU burner accounts kind of tweeting out things. I would encourage fans not to pay attention to any of that. This story will be a story that's broken by a national media member more times than not. At this point, there's not a whole lot to know other than the fact that he intends to take that visit to Oregon and make a decision sometime in the midweek, which is pretty much what we reported late last week. But, he's still working through it. And obviously Mississippi State had the opportunity to host him, and we're just kind of letting see things play out at this point. But obviously he is a difference maker for every team that is recruiting him.
Yeah, so you feel like everybody's still in it? Mississippi State, Miami, LSU, and Oregon?
I was told yesterday that he and his rep are both still in contact with Mississippi State. And, so typically when things turn south, you just stop having a dialogue, because then they just focus in on the schools that are still in contention. But as of yesterday, he and his rep were still in contact with Mississippi State.
All right. And we're talking about a $4 to $4 million-ish player on the market right now. Is that correct?
Yeah, and he's not visiting anywhere that's not willing to meet his asking price. I mean, okay, that's like the first box that has to get checked. I mean, he's not going to go waste his time when you're going to offer $1 million and everybody else is willing to offer $3+. And so that's the first criteria that has to be met. This is our asking price. The second one is development. He wants to be a first-round draft pick. And so the development piece is a huge part of this. This is not a 12-month decision, but a 10 to 12-year decision, right? He is trying to position himself to be in the best draft status possible. So the first criteria is, hey, can they meet my asking price? And two, can they get me to the National Football League as a potential first-rounder? And so those are the first two boxes that have to be checked. Of course, obviously, Mississippi State's Phil Oldholt has a long-time relationship with Seaton. He wouldn't have visited State otherwise. And so now you just got to work through this process and you got to recruit, but it's not going to be a situation where he goes to the highest bidder. The bidders are all going to be comparable. It's going to be about where he and his representation feels that he can be developed ultimately into a first-round situation where he could be a starter in the National Football League.
All right, well, let's just cut through it. I mean, 3 of the 4 teams are winning. 1 is not. But yet, and I get the Load-Holt thing. He was his offensive line coach last year or in 2024. And so that's why Mississippi State got a visit, and they're willing to match what everybody else is willing to pay. But 3 of the other 4 are driving kids to the NFL at this time. Mississippi State's done it, but that was under Dan Mullen, and then Moorhead and Leach, took advantage of that too. But I mean, tell me, am I wrong that the 3 other schools are winning and proving that they can drive players to the NFL more so than another one?
Well, I wouldn't say that LSU is winning at the level that Miami or Oregon is. I tell you, this is just my opinion. Okay, so the school that scares me the most is Miami, and I'll tell you, there's multiple reasons why. Number one, they're about to play for a national championship tonight. Number two, Mario Cristobal has done as good a job of almost anybody in the country the last decade and a half when it comes to developing offensive linemen and making them pro prospects.
Yeah.
So when Mario sat down with him, I am confident he had a very detailed plan. It's like, hey, here's what we did for this guy, and this guy. If you're Mississippi State, you're pushing Charles Cross. Great example, guy that signed a big contract. But you don't have the same number of bullets in the gun that a Miami does. And, hey, who doesn't want to live in, Coral Gables and be that close to South Beach and have a bunch of money in your pocket where you can get out and go enjoy the experience? And so I can't tell you right now where he's going to end up. But to me, Miami is probably the school that has the most to sell at this point.
Okay. Steve Robertson on the Out of Bounds show. So you feel like he's a Miami lean?
Well, that to me, that makes the most sense. I can't say what he's thinking. I can't say what's, kind of what his leanings are at this point. We hadn't had any contact with him. We're having to get all this from, second parties, and obviously we have people in contact with his representation. But, I can't say for sure what he's going to do, and I think anybody that tells you they do is kind of wishful thinking, because everywhere he's gone, there has been this elevation of the bubble, right? He goes to Mississippi State, everybody feels great, goes to Miami, well, then they feel great. Now LSU people feel great. I think this young guy is just working through this process with a very professional manner, and then we'll have a decision here middle of the week.
Okay. I know that they're recruiting other tackles. So how many other tackles are they recruiting and trying to get in, signed and committed, knowing that Seaton may end up at Miami, LSU, or Oregon?
Well, you got to get at least one, right? And, one of the things that's interesting, and I think a lot of fans are prepared for this. I think there's a lot of fans right now that are almost in a state of denial around the country, because schools have 48 business hours to enter a player into the portal, and including some close to home, right? So our folks at Mississippi State are very open about it. Like when a guy goes in, they just, they'll confirm it for us pretty quickly. But the portal closed at midnight on Friday. Well, Saturday, Sunday, and today are not business days. So you're going to have some additional players of value that entered the portal on Tuesday and Wednesday. Now, their reps are already talking to people, obviously, right? But don't be surprised if, and I don't mean this from a Mississippi State point of view, I think the hay's in the barn in that respect when it comes to portal entrance. Don't be surprised come Wednesday and Thursday, all of a sudden there's this late gold rush of players and some very quick decisions and some quick official visits, because, school's already started for most places around the country.
Right.
Drop ad dates are coming up pretty quickly. And so, the registrar's office obviously works with football and that kind of stuff. So there's a couple of days leeway. But I think the end of this week, you're going to see some players of value go in the portal, and it's going to make a difference with some programs around the country.
All right. So do you believe that you think they'll only take one? We have a listener on the Golden Moon Casino text line. One tackle or 2 tackles, offensive tackles?
You'd love to get 2, right? You'd love to. State's probably, this will sound maybe a little bit reminiscent of last year, but it's not. State's, I think, like 8 or 9 spots away from the 105. You're probably going to see some junior college guys sign for depth and special teams. Not a whole bunch of them, but some to eat up some of those spots. But I think the best case scenario is if you could get 2 tackles from the portal, and maybe that number 2 guy is the guy that understands, hey, you're going to have a chance to compete for a starting spot, but maybe you're a swing guy. I don't think you can put all your eggs in one basket and then declare victory in that respect. I think you probably need another tackle, and I think if you look at State's roster last year, that one position, tackle, in and of itself, right and left outside of Steen, was probably the weakest position on the team. And so I think it behooves you to get as many tackles as you can. Now, it helps getting Miles McVay in because he's played left tackle, left guard, right guard. He's a guy that can kind of be your Swiss Army knife. But I think you got to get a bona fide left tackle with some real length and some athleticism and good footwork. And they've had some guys in that I know that Pro Football Focus likes, but all of a sudden you get them in and you find out they're not quite as big as they are listed, and they're not quite as good on the board as you'd expect. And you got to figure all this thing out. A lot of people think, well, if you offer a kid, you'll take him if he wants to come. That's just not always the case.
Okay. So I've got kind of a mixed bag on my text line, Steve, of people are excited. They think the roster's gotten a little better. Some are kind of asking some questions. Hey, they're 15th in portal recruiting in the SEC, I think. So you want to walk? I mean, do you feel great about the class, or wait and see, and you feel pretty good about it?
I feel really good about most of it, but I want to see them on the grass, right? I mean, it's like, at the end of the day, like portal, like recruiting rankings in and of itself is an inexact science. And then when you consider the portal and how quickly these guys have to rate these players, especially this year, because there's just one portal window, right? So I think you look at portal rankings, no matter who the rankings come from, and just kind of take some of that with a grain of salt, because everybody's still learning. And especially this year is amplified because you got so many guys going in 1 2-week period. But I really like what we've done on defense. And I'll tell you, one of the reasons that I am excited about the pieces from Florida State is Zach Arnett was there last year as an analyst. And so he was instrumental in getting both the offensive players and the defensive players to Mississippi State. So you got to think those offensive linemen, he's defending against those guys every day, right? And so he has the defensive mindset of like Jalen Matthews being a really good tackle prospect, because first-team defense had to compete against the scout team. And so he knows how hard that kid works. Amari Williams, that's a guy too that, people in the building will tell you that Arnett is crazy about him and thinks that he's a guy that's going to play pro football someday. And so I'm going to side with the guy that's coached him and the guy that's going to coach him over a guy sitting behind a computer screen, right?
No question.
So is this team better? Without any question. But I think if you can get a bona fide left tackle, I think everybody walks away from this portal window saying, hey, Mississippi State met every need they had. Okay,
so, but handicap it for me. I mean, what do you give a percentage on them landing an SEC? Let's say Seton goes somewhere else, to Miami or whatever. Handicap it. Give me a percentage on them landing, on Mississippi State landing and I'm not talking about a first round pick, but an SEC level offensive tackle.
Well, at this point, you don't know what all the options are going to be, but there's not a lot of guys out there, obviously, like Jordan Seton, right? So the thing you begin to ask yourself is, can you find a Charles Cross in this portal? Well, no, I don't think you can. Can you find a Derek Sherrod in this portal? Maybe. But I think you can find a Blaine Clausell in the portal. And so you begin to think it's kind of a good, better, best situation, right? So can they find a guy that's good enough? I absolutely believe that. but a guy like Jordan Seaton obviously is a difference maker. So if you could land anywhere in between that, I think you feel really good about where things sit. You don't just want a guy that can just play the position. You want a guy that can go out there and play it well.
Sure.
So that's going to be, I think, the real challenge for, the evaluation staff and the player personnel staff. But the good thing is that there's really not much else you got to chase. It's not like it was 2 weeks ago where you're on the phone all day, every day with agents and setting up visits and arranging flights. You've reached a point now, with 21 transfers and just a couple days left, really a few days left, where you can focus all your energy on this and have everybody in the building kind of cutting up tape and, kind of making sure, hey, this guy just went in the portal, can he play here? And that's the real question. You don't just need to go get a warm body. You've got to get a guy that can go out here and play at a high level.
Steve Robertson on the Out of Bounds Show, brought to you by the Mississippi State University Bagley College of Engineering, world-class engineering program in Starkville, Mississippi, bagley.msstate.edu. Okay. Somebody on the text line just said, and I think I know where they're going, but you're going to know more. They say that there's a surprise coming for Mississippi State in the next 48 to 72 hours. Do you agree with that?
I don't know that I would jump on that just yet.
Okay.
There obviously are, there's some things out there that if they go the way we hope would be a good thing. And the one thing that I'll say about this, I'm not throwing shade at anybody, is that everything that this group has done, and I've been impressed, has made a lot of sense, right? Like they're not just out here chasing rankings. And I think that's some of the things in the past you look at. We want to get our name in the paper, so let's go take this kid. Well, the problem is then you got to play it, right? And so it doesn't matter what he's ranked if he can't play. So anything that happens here in the next 72 hours is not going to be a surprise to the staff. And they have worked extremely hard in advance of the portal. And I had somebody in the building tell me that they thought they had evaluated every player in all of college football. Everybody from juniors on down. That in the case these guys go into the portal, here's our grade for them. Do we want to talk to them? Do we not? I don't know that we've had that level of preparation in previous years. And so you live and learn and you evolve. But, there's a possibility something of some significance could happen here in the next 72 hours. But I think it's important just to kind of let things play out. And let's see, we got to get these guys on campus. So.
Okay. Steve Robertson, genespage.com. His site's been on fire, genespage.com, 247 Sports. Steve joins us on the Farm Bureau Insurance guest line. This is 105.9 The Zone ESPN. Want to say good morning, welcome in. Hope you're doing well. Let's go to basketball. How disappointing was that for Jan's fans basketball program to lose that game on Saturday, 68-67 Ole Miss?
Well, anytime that you lose a game to Ole Miss in any sport, no matter the circumstances, it's going to have an emotional reaction within this fan base, and rightfully so, right? And I think if we're fair with each other, this is not a great Ole Miss team, and it's certainly not a great Mississippi State team. And you swept Ole Miss last year, so you felt like you could get them, and you get the big lead early. And it's 3 straight games where State has come out and looked very much prepared, but in the second half just not had any juice. And I think Mississippi State, probably the struggles this year, really go back to the portal, to kind of loop that in. You got Amir Ali, a guy that everybody was super excited about. What's he playing, 2 minutes a game? So you go spend a lot of money and go get these guys. They've got to contribute, and the coaching staff has got to get a lot out of these guys. And so it was very frustrating. And I've had people say, well, why didn't we call timeout and set something up? Well, you got the SEC's leading scorer on a dead run at home with 10,000 people at his back and a chance to finish and win a ball game. I'm going to take that every opportunity I get it, right? Because if you call timeout, you give everybody a chance to set up. I think the mad scramble at the end is probably the best way it's got to play out. And, unfortunately, Hub didn't finish. And Hub didn't have a great game. And I think that's not an indictment on him. I think it's an indictment on his teammates that you need to be able to win against kind of a mediocre SEC team when maybe your star is not having his best performance. Somebody has to step up. And it's a disappointing loss, and I don't think there's anybody that's being honest with themselves that expects this team to make the NCAA tournament at this point. I think you've got to find a way to get hot down the stretch, and this schedule is brutal. It always is in men's basketball. So very disappointing loss, and I know there's a lot of people now, they're like, you know what, I think I'm probably done for a while till they win some games, and I hate that aspect of it, but I understand it.
Yeah, I mean, look, Hub has carried this program since January of his freshman year. Can you imagine if they didn't have him the last 2 years, his freshman and sophomore year, Steve?
No, I can't. I had that conversation with my staff just the other day. I said, could you imagine where this program had been if Josh Hubbard didn't come back this year? I mean, it's just, it's incredible to think about how bad it could have been. And people are like, oh, they could get somebody else. Not like Josh Hubbard.
No.
You're not going to go have that caliber in the portal. You get over yourself. There's no chance. I mean, Hub is going to go down as one of the best players to ever wear maroon and white, right? And, the fact he's been in the tournament every year is a big part of things too. But no, I can't even begin to wrap my mind around what this team would look like without Hub. Not to mention that, you've had some absolute clunkers of portal evaluations. And in men's basketball, it shows up even grander, right? It's because you got a smaller roster.
Right.
That's the thing about that. You can go get two guys out there that can change everything. And then you go get two guys that can make everything worse. And it seems like every year you have some guys in this portal class that are just non-contributors. And then you look at this year, and I think you've got a handful of them.
Steve Robertson, genespage.com, 247 Sports, the Boneyard Podcast. He joined us on Out of Bounds. Steve, thanks for joining us bright and early. We'll talk later in the week.
Yeah, man, take care.
Steve Robertson on the Farm Bureau Insurance guest line. Lunch today is brought to you by Burgers Blues Barbecue, B3 in Dogwood, Flowwood. Jackson is the fried chicken blue plate, which I love. And I like to marry it with some mac and cheese and green beans. So that is the blue plate in Dogwood, Flowwood, Burgers Blues Barbecue. Now, do they have burgers, smash burgers, all kinds of pulled pork and fun stuff? Absolutely. Fried pickles, all the good stuff. Their onion rings are amazing. That was Blake Mania's favorite. Jackson doesn't like onion rings, but he loves 99% of what is on the Burgers Blues Barbecue B3 Dogwood Flowwood menu. So lunch and dinner, Dogwood Flowwood, Burgers Blues Barbecue. It's fried chicken. Go ahead and order 8, 10, 12 to-go orders for the office, 15, 20 for the office today. I mean, they do to-go and catering all the time. Burgers, Blues, Barbecue, B3, Dogwood, Flowwood, fried chicken, Monday. We're live in the Bank Plus studio.
Say, kids, what time is it?
It's 9 a.m. and this ain't okay show. It's the Out of Bounds Show with Bo Bounds.
On aboard!
As Mississippi's #1 morning show rolls on the Zone 105.9 and online at thezone1059.com.
That's a joke to me. Anybody else got any questions about any college jobs? There's not a booster with a big enough blank check.
Oh, good morning. Welcome into the Out of Bounds Show, ESPN 105.9 The Zone, brought to you by Pearl River Resort and the Golden Moon Casino Vegas-style sportsbook. Bet $50 there. Play award-winning Dancing Rabbit Golf Club for $40. Bet 50, play 40. Own the property of Pearl River Resort. Don't forget to book your next conference at Pearl River Resort. You've got plenty of conference, beautiful conference space, 2 golf courses, wonderful food, table games, and 600 hotel rooms or something. PearlRiverResort.com. Ask for Kim, PearlRiverResort.com. Good morning. Welcome in. Bo Bounds, Jackson Meadows with you. We're rolling here on National Championship Monday. National Championship Monday. And that's brought to you by Eye Care Professionals and Dr. Kirk Jeffries and the team on Lakeland Drive, 2 locations. And if you need cataract surgery, call Eye Care Professionals today. Routine eye exams, LASIK, but cataract surgery, Eye Care Professionals, everything from glasses, contacts, cataracts, LASIK, and so on. Eye Care Professionals, Dr. Kirk Jeffries and the team, 2 locations on Lakeland Drive. Also, yes, this is 105.9 The Zone ESPN. Couple of different ways that you can get in touch with us. The Golden Moon Casino text line is 601-885-3776. Your takeaway from the weekend, Ole Miss, Mississippi State basketball, portal, or NFL playoffs. Your takeaway on the weekend, hit us up on the text line, 601-885-3776. Find us on X at Bo Bounds. Shoot us a tweet. Follow us at Bo Bounds. And the Bud Light caller line is 601-707-3750. Also, shout out, it's Martin Luther King Day.
Yeah.
So schools are not,
No.
People are out as far as school banking,
Fed.
state government, federal government, so on. And Dr. Martin Luther King, tip of the cap.
Oh, yeah.
Also, I saw this, National Popcorn Day.
All right.
And boy, does that feed in. I love popcorn. I don't like it real buttery. If you've listened to this show, I want some like Jonesy Q seasoning on it. I want it dry. I don't want butter on it. And then I want to put some hot Louisiana hot sauce on it.
Eat.
And then you can open up a cold Bud Light, popcorn, and a game. We have popcorn a lot at our house. Wendy and her friend that play cards, they always pop it, and, when they're playing their, was it called Mahjong?
Yeah.
And all their games. And I just go in and grab a bowl and go back out to the man cave. There's nothing better than popcorn with a little bit of Louisiana hot sauce. And you're at your house, you got the fireplace going, and you got football or basketball on TV. Do you like popcorn, Jackson?
I like popcorn a lot. Yeah.
Okay. Good, man.
Simple, easy. Man, but I used to like it whenever, they had whenever you'd pop popcorn, obviously you throw it in the microwave, but I had the little thing, the little machine that popped the individual kernels. So you could,
Yeah.
a little.
It almost looks like what Jermaine brought in
Yeah.
when she did the flowers.
Right, yeah, something like that.
Grinder.
Yeah, it was an Orville. I think it was an original Orville Redenbacher, so we loved it. It was a.
So like your parents had it.
Yeah.
And you could just throw everything in, boom, it made like really
Bam.
good popcorn.
Yeah, popcorn is probably the first thing I learned how to cook. So, I mean, I was off to a hot start.
You were on you knew that you had the culinary touch.
Yeah.
After having your popcorn popper.
I knew what I liked. I knew what I wanted. I knew I could make it happen. What else do I need?
just like Josh Allen.
Simple.
Yeah.
He just needs a new coach.
Wow. Wow. Okay.
So,
What?
how do you fire that guy?
I don't know. I think you're in a
Dude, no way.
You're in a spot where my thoughts would be he lives in the second round, if not the AFC Championship.
Right.
So, I mean,
what's going to get better than that? I understand.
I guess
the
you
Super
would
Bowl.
have to tell me who you believe you have that you can get that can take. I mean, I get the goals to go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and win it. Yeah, sure.
Very much so. And I understand those the Buffalo Bills owners, I guess it's the new ownership
Okay,
group
yeah.
the last decade or so is very aggressive and have done a good job. And that was a devastating loss to Denver.
It was.
And the way, again, Josh Allen, nobody saw Josh Allen throwing 2 picks, fumbling 3 times, and losing 2 of them.
No.
It just,
And it's not Josh Allen like. He's better than that. He's been better in the playoffs as well.
yeah.
But the missing.
I mean, he got up on the podium and
Yeah.
he was just heartbroken, man. He couldn't even talk the first 30 seconds he was up there.
Yeah, it's
I mean, he was crying.
God.
I mean, he believed. I mean, there's so many other factors, but he believed that he let his team down by not playing well and throwing the ball to Denver. And now Denver's defense is insane. Now I know that the game got sped up, and that's what happens in the NFL. We see it a lot, right? But holy Mary Olzab, man, 4 turnovers. I did not see that from Sir Josh Allen.
Yeah, and then Stroud had 4 in the first half.
Well, I know. I mean, so
Knew it.
they baited
him so hard.
I mean,
Dude, Vrabel.
so
killed
Vrabel
him.
and the Patriots and what
Killed
they, I mean, CJ's a nice player. I do agree with what Aikman said. He had his rookie year and then hasn't played up
No.
to a high level since,
No.
and that's on him and the Texans' offensive staff
I agree.
combination.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
They hadn't done him any favors. But
and then McVay's back, man. Watch out.
easy.
Watch out.
Back from what? Back to where? He's not here.
Hey, they did what they had to
They
do
did.
in a tough environment.
That was a great
I'm
win
not
by
taking
them.
anything
No.
away from a team that has to go on the road against a fan base that's hungry, that hasn't won in forever, in the Chicago Bears.
They were hot.
In a cold, it was, y'all saw it. It was snowing, sleet, whatever the hell that stuff was.
Oh,
And I mean, it was fun games to watch.
Yeah.
Just with the climate and the weather.
I can't believe
But and Caleb makes that ridiculous play to kind of save the Bears
Right.
and keep them in the game, where he runs backwards 20 yards
Dude.
and throws it in the end zone and they score.
he's been doing it all year.
And then the Rams do what they have to do in OT.
Yeah, it's tough. The magic had to run out.
But Ben Johnson had a hell of a first year with the Chicago Bears.
First year.
He was under Dan Campbell as the offensive coordinator. That is but it's also one of those things where you're like, man,
Hey.
it's so hard to get. I mean, you're there. It's so damn hard to get back.
He also picked us.
I mean, ask the Chiefs. I know they went on this run. Chiefs weren't even in it this year.
Uh-uh.
Not that they got bounced in the wild card. They weren't even in it. And the Ravens, I mean, look what happened for some of these teams that we like to follow that live in the playoffs.
They're playoff staples.
The mat can be yanked. The carpet can be yanked out from under you in a damn heartbeat. So, God, I love popcorn. Actually, I'm hungry. We have popcorn back there. So,
Got to get it out for Jarrett Stidham anyway. So
Jarrett Stidham, the new quarterback now for the Denver Broncos. Now, I hate it for Bo Nix.
yeah,
You hate to see someone play that
God,
deep into the season
Yeah.
and get hurt at the very end of the game when he buckled. That stuff just makes me, ugh. Goodness gracious. The Out of Bounds Show. Hey, if you need French drains or foundation repairs, Superior Foundation. Superior.ms. Oh, good morning. Out of bounds, ESPN 105.9 The Zone.
Guys, I don't have time for that speculation.
ESPN 105.9 The Zone. I'm your host, Bo Bounds. I want to thank you for going to our YouTube page. Search Out of Bounds Sports. Jackson's got that thing on fire. Would love for you to hit the subscribe button. YouTube, search Out of Bounds Sports. Had our biggest 90-day run, October, November, and December on YouTube in the history of our channel. There's great content on there. YouTube, search Out of Bounds Sports. We're on it right now. The show is brought to you by the Mississippi State University Bagley College of Engineering. Students can participate in any of several dozen impactful teams and clubs. For example, the Space Cowboys rocketry team recently won first place at the IREC Spaceport America Cup, the world's largest intercollegiate rocket engineering conference and competition. The winners were the Mississippi State University Bagley College of Engineering students. Okay? And the Space Cowboys are like the thing on campus. I mean, they have gone out and won national titles. So if you want your young person to not only go through a rigorous and world-class curriculum, but also go and compete nationally at these competitions to get that kind of experience, bagley.msstate.edu. And the new dean, Dean Dave Ford, dynamite. He went to Penn, PhD and all that, and he's super sharp. And again, the Space Cowboys rocketry team won first place at the IREC Spaceport America Cup, world's largest intercollegiate rocket engineering conference and competition, powered by Mississippi State University, Bagley College of Engineering, bagley.msstate.edu. Bo Bounds, Jackson Meadows with you. Who are you rooting for tonight? Are you going for the Indiana Hoosiers and the Crazy Pills, again, kind of almost nuclear engineering professor, which Mississippi State Bagley of College Engineering offers that major. It's dynamite major. The Kurt Signetti Indiana Hoosiers, or Mario Cristobal that is down in South Florida at Miami, and he's kind of got that South Florida to him. It's funny. Both coaches represent where their schools are and kind of look like what they – Signetti looks like what an Indiana coach from the Midwest where it's cold should be.
Sure.
Cristobal, full of muscles, dark complected, looks like
Beach.
South Beach.
No doubt.
Isn't that funny?
I love it.
Who are you rooting for?
I think this is going to be one of the first times in my life that I actually don't care. I really don't I don't care who wins this ball game. I just want to see something decent. I like the Signetti storyline. I think it's great.
Okay.
But I like Cristobal and I like the U. No, let me change that. I'm pulling for the U.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm going for Indiana since you're going for the U.
Give me the U.
All right. We need to make a bet.
I mean, it's gonna be whatever. You just tell me what you're comfortable losing because it's the U.
Okay. I mean, you wouldn't pay it anyway.
No, absolutely not. My bourbon's over there, but I don't lose
because I pay for all your lunches and dinners, but which is fine.
That's how that works.
I should.
Right.
But we'll bet. I'm trying to think of what you would actually buy me.
That's a good point. That's a whoa.
Okay.
It's going to be a pullover.
You're not going to buy me a $120
No,
pullover.
no,
I'll buy you one.
Yeah, they're not all $120 though.
I got my
God.
Pirates pullover. I should have worn it this morning. I totally
Yeah.
dropped the ball. So I got my Pirates pullover. Did I send it to you?
No, I need to see this.
I got it on Friday when I got home from Starkville.
Yeah,
I got it, and even Wendy was like,
she like it.
"Yeah," she was
So
like, "That's
sharp.
really cool."
Nice.
Well, I sent it to Jake Mangum, and he just sent back, "That's sick."
All right, nice.
So that's kind of like my son. If he goes, "That's lit" or
Yep.
"That's electric," then I did something good.
If he approves it,
So I just text it to you. I think it's a really good looking hoodie. It's black
oh yeah, sleep.
with the yellow P for the Pittsburgh Pirates, which I will be wearing left and right.
I like it.
Oh, shout out to Jake Mangum, who stayed up here and signed 20 baseballs for us.
Yeah.
So that we can give it away to our listeners and their kids and so on.
Yeah.
And then he had already signed the wall. You know, we have all these people that have signed the wall and
who've gone on to do great things. Yeah.
Jake Mangum, Gardner Minshew, among many, many others, Tanner Allen and so on, Mike Leach. Rest in peace, my friend. But
what do we call that?
We need,
Sound panel?
I like that. Would
It's
you
a
come
panel.
up in the next couple of days with a word that sounds cool?
Yes.
And I think I'll take a picture of it and tweet it out and put it. I've never done that with the wall.
Yeah.
And because we're up to a bunch of signatures.
Yeah.
Did Mary Ryan Brown sign it?
Yeah, she did somewhere in there.
Thank goodness. So for our listeners, let me switch gears. Mary Ryan Brown is a comedian from Hattiesburg that Robert St. John connected us with her because my wife loves her. Wendy had found her on TikTok or somewhere.
Right.
And she's super talented. Well, she's now going on tour. She released on Thursday or Friday. She's going on tour all over the country.
Yep.
This is really cool. She was with us in studio a couple of months ago. She was awesome. In fact, it's on our YouTube page if you want to search Mary Ryan Brown Out of Bounds. Great interview. She was super funny. She made fun of us.
She's great, man.
And she'll make fun of herself. It's great.
Yeah, she killed it.
But speaking of someone who's famous but about to go big, I love seeing Mississippi people do amazing things, kind of like this Space Cowboys who just won the national championship at the Bagley College of Engineering at Mississippi State. Mary Ryan Brown is going on tour. She's starting in Hattiesburg, then she's like going to Austin, Texas, and all these different places.
That's what's up.
Boom. But she signed the wall, then gets a tour.
Obviously.
Gardner Minshew, we had him on the day he got or the day before the NFL draft.
Really?
Yeah. I think we had him on Thursday, and he got drafted on Friday or Saturday.
Man, what Sean Payton would do for a Gardner Minshew right now.
Yeah, that would be so cool if Gardner had been the backup. Then I'd be all in on the Denver Broncos. But now Jarrett Stidham, who hosted Bo Nix.
Yeah.
Stidham was an Auburn player who hosted Bo Nix as an Auburn recruit. Then he's the backup to Bo Nix. Bo Nix breaks his ankle, and now Jarrett Stidham's playing for Sean Payton in the AFC Championship game against the
Just
Patriots.
like we drew it up.
What?
Yeah, there's a conversation we had long ago about Jarrett Stidham.
We did?
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
You probably took a shot at him.
No, I told you he was going to be a good quarterback. You told me there was no way he would be a good quarterback.
No. He hasn't started a game in 736 days. So you have to be good to be on a roster. So I'm not saying he's not talented.
Yeah.
Then you throw in that Sean is going to run this game, I think, is going to be low scoring. The total's 41.5. Okay. I mean, you just saw how the Patriots played it over the weekend. I know the Broncos the Broncos Bills got rolling.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
You're probably right there. Under me.
In Denver, Patriots at the Broncos, 2:00 this Sunday. New England's laying 5.5 at Denver.
Ugh.
Tonight's game, Indiana's laying 8.5, right? Okay. And also, real quick, Rams, Seahawks. It's at the Seahawks, by the way. Rams, Seahawks, you know how that stadium is when they get rolling. Good Lord, it'll probably be raining, sleeting, snowing, and unicorns will be flying through the air. But Rams, Seahawks laying 2.5. Yeah. And Sean McVay and the Rams are going to win. We are the Out of Bounds Show, 105.9 The Zone, ESPN. The show is brought to you by the Mississippi State University, Bagley College of Engineering. You want a world-class degree and career? Bagley.msstate.edu.